This is part 2 of the unboxing series. On this time with a couple of different cards here. A 10100 ISA network card, which is right here. And last but not least, this Promise 4030VL-2. Let's go ahead and open up the one that has VL2 in here. Oh, come on. Using nothing but broken cigarette that broke on me. Sorry, I have to put my phone down because I don't have my tripod attached to my phone at the moment. My phone attached to the tripod at the moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so here's the first box, the promise card. Let me get the box out of the way. There were two of these on eBay. This is the one that I got that was in my bite now. The other one was a bidding war, pretty much, per se. And I'm trying to bid on this thing. The first one that I found, I'm like, you know, what should, I'm like, what should I do? So, I found one that is not only an accelerator card, it also has, let's see, it has two IDE ports and two floppy ports. So that's going to be a really fun one. I got the manual right here. The driver's diskettes, one for DOS, Windows Network OS2, the other one for Unix. I'll be archiving those and putting them on the internet sometime. Those are 720K diskettes. And here's the card itself. As you can see, man, my anti-static, let's tape off there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick so I can show you guys what it looks like. So this is what the card looks like. You got the RAM right here. It's got 4 megabytes of 730. You can do up to 16 megabytes. And that's for the cache portion for the hard drives. The other part right here are the floppy controllers. So this one, I'm not sure which one is J4, which one's J3. Okay, J3 is this one. So this one would be floppy drive number 0 through 1. I'm sorry, you got 0 to 1. And then 2 or 3 for the second one here. So that way you can have up to 4 floppy diskette drives installed. Let's take a look inside the manual here, so I can see if there are any, let's say drivers, or like if there's a BIOS stuff. Okay, there is a to access the cache. You see a CSU. And it tells you like the schematics per the per drive and everything. So you have to, I have to install the drivers on here. So the only thing we're going to do is we're going to go copy everything onto the compact flash card, and that way I can get the drivers installed without, like, as soon as I get it all in. So that's the one. Be placing that aside here, and I'll be doing a live stream of installing that as soon as I get off work at 2:30 in the morning. So let's go ahead and open up this other box here from LIQ Matrix. A good friend of mine. This one contains the ISA card, a 100 base TX CT519, I believe, or it's 515. I have to look at the model number. I always forget the exact model number. Alright, so here it is. I'm gonna be jealous that I have better cards than that. To find something like this relatively cheap, and all I did was just pay for shipping for this bad boy. Okay, so here it is. The 3-com Fast Etherlink ISA 10100 base TX 3C515TX. You have the option for boot ROM right here, so like an XT IDE or anything in particular. I had the PCI variant of this back in the early days, but it's long since stopped working. So this one is going to be going inside my 386 computer here. So that way I can put the DOS computer on the network so I can copy files and everything. So this is actually a pretty cool looking card here. It's so nice and clean. I don't see anything wrong with it. Everything looks great on here. So you got a Texas Instrument chip here, and you also have the brains of the operation here. The parallel tasking 3-com chip, that's the brains of the operation here. I think this is also the brains of the operation too. Then you have the RJ45 connector, that's 100 base TX. You also put like a 10 megabit network connection here. You got the activity light right here. Then you also have the 10 megabits per second light right here. You also have the 100 base TX one right there. So it's just an overview of the items that I received today, including that Wise computer. So stay tuned for another unboxing, actually another video, which will be upgrading the controller card in there to that Promise card, which I have right in here. Then putting this some 100 base TX, that's 100 base XT card in the computer. Setting up the boot ROM and everything. I have to get all the drivers and all the DOS utilities for it onto the compact flash card, which I'm going to do soon. And then some projects. Rebuilding the DMG-01. I have some parts coming in today for that too. And pretty soon, I'm going to be doing 2 of these drives here. This one is reading discs without a problem, but unfortunately the laser head motor is making a horrible click, making a horrible noise. The one that's in there, it's quiet, but unfortunately it doesn't read disc. The one that's in my Packer Bell PacMate 20 Plus, only had the eject motor that went bad on it. I swapped the bezels and then the volume knob between those two because, well, that one's more yellow. You can't see it very well on camera. That one is not that bad though, but I could use some retro. Actually, it actually looks pretty good though. But in any event, so if you guys are just tuning in, yes, I know this is my CD-ROM. Don't comment about it, please. Just doing this. Did another unboxing video. So, part 2 of the unboxing series for today. As promised, DC4030VL-2. 4 megabytes of RAM on there for the cache. Does the 386 have a micro ID research BIOS? I see 3 floppy drives in that PC. Unfortunately, I did try to use that on, I did try to put that on here, but the BIOS ROM, the EEPROM chip was way too slow. This is the one right here, but it's mislabeled. It says XTID AKB W95. I just put that on there to cover the UV window. I have another chip right here somewhere, but unfortunately, I have to erase it because it's some of the code got in there, but the rest of it did not, which is really sad. So soon it'll get the the micro ID research BIOS or MR BIOS on here. It has the Opti A2C495X chip. Supports 3 processors from the 386 up to the from 38625 all the way up to like a DX266, I believe. But with the micro ID research BIOS, I might test it and see if the Pentium Overdrive will work with it. I'm not sure if that's going to do that, but okay, so this one right here is a 360 kilobyte drive. This is the Mitsubishi Drive. So what? Yeah, that's the eject mechanism. I used to laugh at that. It's still pretty funny. And this is the dual floppy drive, the Epson SD800, the 1.44 megabyte right here. The bottom one is the 1.2. Both of them work. I greased the rails and everything, and they're super quiet. This one I just grease as well. This one over here also has the same floppy drive, and that one works just fine. That one I had for free. Got it back in 2016. It's been a fun one. I had to lubricate that drive as well because they were so bad. Like everything, like it was buzzing like really loud and everything. My like everyone could hear it. This is the CD drive. I have to fix this one because the drive isn't getting read. I think it's because either the hard drive, the control. I can't say anything correctly today. Plug in my everything here. Switch to to 386 mode. I just have to turn it on the computer here so that you guys can hear what I'm thinking. Yeah, the system is not reading anything correctly. So I gotta go fix that. The only thing missing is 2.8 megabyte. Sure as hell heck wish I could find one. Did they actually make one for like a computer such as this? Because I know IBM made one for the PS2 model back in the day, but I'm not sure if they actually are able to do that or not. But how cool would that be to have 2.8 megabyte floppy drive, so that way you can read and write 2.88 megabyte disks for some computers like IBM. They made for the IBM PS2s. Okay, so I was right. They did make them for the IBM PS2. I forgot if it was made for that. But you can easily adapt the 26-pin interface to the standard 4-pin one. You know, that's really interesting. I'll give that a whirl and see what happens. Wish you can do the same thing for that computer, my Packard Bell computer, but unfortunately, it's hard to get a lot of things in there. I do have a CD drive hooked up externally that you see right there in the back, right next to the keyboard. Yes, that was just actually for fun, but it actually works without problems, so. Now the reason why I got this floppy drive is because I want to archive diskettes for the, read from diskettes, test them out, see if they're working, write to them, archive them, format them like new ones, and that'll be for this compact portable one system. So it's going to be a fun ride with this, but I have to see for this one because I think I need to have the micro ID research BIOS to have all 4 floppies, because I know the micro ID research does support that, which is cool to have support for that. Amongst other things, I can also put a Pentium overdrive in it, but unfortunately I'm not sure if it's too bad you can't use more than 2 floppy drives on a newer than 386 because the BIOS started to get proprietary and you couldn't replace the standard BIOS with the Mr. one. Micro ID research, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I know the older computers, such as this compact portable one system, you can switch it on there to where you can have up to 4 floppy drives on there, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it makes the fixed disk as a different drive letter, which is a pain in the rear end. I know the 286 still had that up until, well, anything newer than the 386, and this one is the much later version, much later 386. So I know the early 386 computers, systems, you could, if you had the Mr. or Micro ID Research BIOS on it. This board does support it. The board that's right over here does not, unfortunately. Sure, Sec, wish it did. That'll be cool. But the only thing is, it's only ISA and VL bus. I have another board right here that needs repairs. They have the same board that's in here as a JMark Opti 495 SX 3486 WB. Like I said, in the future videos, I'm going to be doing a couple projects here. One of which is restoring this DMG-01 Game Boy to its original glory with a brand new IPS display. And I did test it out the other day and it works just fine. So actually I had to get used to the controls. And once I get the rest of the details, like the speaker and the motherboard battery terminals, I'm going to go install this bad boy in here, rechargeable battery inside it, recharge it, and then play some games and see how it performs. And I got a couple of these here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, so this is going to be the second one I'm going to be repairing. The first one I'm going to be repairing is going to be the one for today. So I'm going to be having 4 consoles. 2 of them are going to be as is, original, everything in it. This one is going to, the 2 of them are going to be getting rebuilt. Might either sell them or keep them, but as long as they work just fine, I'm happy. I did make sure I got all the other stuff off of there. So the other cool thing is I have this KBS switch box here. Let me move this out of the way here. I already have everything labeled. So number one is going to be the 286. The second one is the 386. The third one is the 486. And the one that actually has a Pentium. So I might... So if no one throws out 386 computers in my area, I have two of the 286 computers, but not a 386. Man, that has to suck. Yeah, 386s are hard to come across, and that was actually my first 386 computer that I got actually. Well, actually a 486 DLC, but it's a 386 board, but it supported a 486 DLC board and processor, which is nice. I got it for $10 last year, back in late June, at a thrift store, cash only. And of course, I was underplayed at the time, so it was actually a really darn good bargain. The only thing that was broken at was the 3.5-inch floppy drive that was in here. I still have the old Maxter 241 megabyte drive, and I archived everything onto my laptop without any issues, so it's gone through a lot of changes. Like, I got a CD drive in there, compact flash IDE adapter in there, 8 gigabyte compact flash card, 360K floppy drive, the dual floppy drive. Upgraded the motherboard to a different one, and that one didn't have, actually had a very, very teeny tiny amount of leakage, but other than that, the board works without a problem. That one had a battery leakage on one of the traces, but it didn't affect it. Well, actually, it didn't affect it at all, but it's working without a problem. I did throw it as 386 and older XT computer in the early 2000s. I still sometimes remind him. Oy. Yeah, the first computer we had was a 286. My dad built it back in '92. It had the Quantum Plus hard card in it. 3.5-inch floppy drive, 5.25-inch floppy drive. I believe both of them were high density drives at the time. Then I upgraded to a 386. Now a 486. I've had that for a long time. I'm getting too far ahead of myself here. Yeah, I've actually had a few systems that come and gone. It's pretty sad, really. But some of the laptops I had were crap and had to toss them out because they were not working properly. I did take the hard drives out though, and some of the components, but the laptop I just scrapped away because they were complete junk, like beyond repairs, or they just had issues. And they were the pain. One of them was the pain for the other one. Actually, the other one was also another pain for. But also, if you guys are wondering about the I/O card I'll be using, this will be the one. I've got this brand new at a thrift store for like a whopping $10. A couple years ago. So this is going to be going inside this computer, along with the network card and the other thing here, the Promise card. I'm going to be archiving the diskettes onto the internet just in case if anyone needs the images of the floppy diskettes. Well, I have to make sure that they read without any problems, but I have to clean them first to make sure there isn't like any dust or mold or what have you. So it's going to be a fun experience with all this here. 386 laptop. I have a 386 laptop that I still need to fix its bug the first time I powered it on. Yeah, it could be the I almost said flyback, but that's the... It could be like the main capacitor. I can't remember. The filter capacitor. Thank you. They might have gone up in smoke. I'm not sure how hard it is to fix the 386 laptop. Is it one of those gas plasmas displays, or is it like one of those STN displays, like monochrome or color? Never had a 386 laptop before. I actually have a couple, like 346 laptops. Um, Two of them have the ES688F plus the YM's 262M, YMF 262M. I already had it apart, but I couldn't find anything wrong. It's a monochrome DSTN LCD. Ah, man, that has to suck. Couldn't find anything wrong. Okay, so there are like no like dark marks or anything like that on there. Okay, that's really weird. Um, like did anything blow up or? That's really weird that it smoked for the first time we powered it on. Actually, had to happen on the VLB I/O card that I have in this computer. I had to fix the trace because apparently the jumper wire that I set up for the floppy drive, apparently that was not supposed to be there. And as soon as I powered on, the trace burnt. I'm like, oh crap. And as soon as I put the trace, fixed the trace, and I had the jumper on it, I saw a little light on it. I'm like, oh shoot. But the card works. Which is pretty sad, but true. So, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on another project. This is the project that's a 4P4C to 5-pin DIN. That's going to be for the Wise 286 computer. Still got to do a couple more adjustments here. I have to move a couple of these contacts over just a bit because they got bent. Focus you. Came from the vent above the main PSU, but I couldn't find anything wrong. Also, the external power bracket slightly melted on one side. So the external power bracket slightly melted on one side. So maybe that power supply overheated and caused it to smoke on the inside. I mean, it's possible, but I've never seen a power supply go up in smoke before. I actually did have an AT power supply that went up in smoke. It was a cheap crap one that I got from Micro Center for my 486 computer, but apparently that worked for a long time, and then the fan started to make a noise. And then I'm like, oh, it's the oil of the fan. Went up in smoke. It's not fun with older computers when everything just goes up in smoke. Especially tantalum capacitors. And thanks for reminding me, I gotta recap that motherboard for the compact portable one, because sometimes it's hit or miss, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. 99% of the time it's reliable. The other 0.1%, yeah, you have to reseat all the card, like take the cards out, turn it on, and once it turns on and everything, I'll turn it back off and put everything back in. And pretty soon I'm going to get a VLB video card for this computer. I just ordered one, but it hasn't shipped yet, unfortunately. I have to check and see what the heck's going on with that. I did send the cash and everything, but oh, I know why. 6 I blew the pin off because I accidentally had the ATPSU cable under the motherboard. I punctured and shorted the 240 volt lines with the pin. Motherboard still works, so yeah. One time I put the 386 processor on my computer, or actually the 387 processor, in the wrong spot. Apparently I didn't look at it correctly. And fortunately, the only thing I heard was the relay click, and that's it on the power supply. So I turned it off, let it turn off all the way because there's still a little bit of power going through. And once I got everything situated, it still works without a problem. Same thing with that 46 right there. This one is considered the ultimate 46. Well, almost ultimate 46 minus the Gus card. I actually have to find a working one. And sadly, there are some of them for sale, but they all want like an arm and a leg from, which I hate when people do that. Oh, also this goes for $500. What? If I find one locally cheap, I'd get it. But there is a computer thrift store that I haven't gone to in a while, and I went there just past Saturday on the 24th, and they're going to be moving stuff around to another spot, so once they get everything else situated, I'm going to be getting a few things here and there. Look at a couple Macintoshes that somebody is eyeing on. I think it was Racer 203. That's looking for an SE30, and if it's working and everything, I'll be testing it to make sure everything is working right. But so yeah, this desk is going to be having a makeover. Well, actually, my whole room is going to have a makeover. I'm going to be turning this into a computer room. Like this whole area here, I know it's a mess. So this is going to be my office space right here, under here. And over here will be the lineup of the computers from like the 8088 all the way up to the modern systems. Like around here. We're going to be having the TV up here still, so I'll be having a gaming. Actually, yeah, I put all those in. Actually, I put them in the background, but I have to cover the holes where the mice keep going through. Actually, the back room will be my bedroom. It can also be like in my gaming room, so I can have like all of my consoles on there. Hook it up to my TV sets. And that DVD-O edge box I have right there, which is icing on the cake. Hook up everything from the Super Nintendo all the way up to, Super Nintendo all the way up to the original Xbox. To it, the 360 and the Xbox One. I'm going to be keeping on another TV set for my parents to use them. Well, and myself. And, oh, hang on, I forgot to show you one other thing. This is also the AV switch box I have for my my 46 as well as my 386. Because they both share the same MIDI devices, the Yamaha FB01, Roland MT32, and the Yamaha DB50XG, which is well hidden underneath the joystick at the moment. This, the Tandy one that's the one that's attached to that, so we can have it come out of the speakers and everything. It's pretty cool. So once I get the replacement EPROMs, including the other ones I'll be getting for the promise card, I'm going to be writing everything. Put the micro ID research files in this computer and everything else. Let's see, what time is it? It's 3:41, and I have to go meet my dad at the repair shop because he needs tires for his car. In a bit here, once he gets off of work and everything, but once he's done with his errands, excuse me. Anyway, so tonight it's going to be a project video, the DMG01, and then the 2 CD drives I'm going to be repairing, and then later on I'm going to be installing the cards and everything in there, but that'll be a Tuesday stream. It's Tuesday I have off. So anyway, was I going to talk about? Okay, so anyway, this is going to be really interesting to get everything all situated here, but you know the workspace is a mess. And I got ahead of myself here. Especially since it's only an unboxing video, I'm just talking about future projects and everything, but it's okay. I mean, it's, as long as it's future project, like, on topic and everything. But I'll be right back. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again.